just off the coast of New South Wales, lies an inhospitable island, covered in jagged rocks and towering palms. Battered by severe coastal weather, Cabbage Tree Island shelters one of the world's most tenacious seabirds, the Gould's petrel. This is the only known wild colony, protected by the rangers of New South Wales National Parks.
And these guys will sit in their nests for 3 months. They don't know anything except the parents coming in. And then they come out of their burrows and their instinct is to climb something high so they can take off. They launch themselves out into the world without even knowing what is wind, what is the sea. It's quite a phenomenal transformation.
The Gould's petrel is Australia's only tree-climbing bird, performing a behaviour never before captured on film, which is unsurprising considering how rugged and inaccessible the island is. But the crew from the magical land of Oz is a determined one. And getting all the filming equipment onto dry land is the first of many challenges.
It's quite stressful holding that boat. The swell doesn't look that bad, and then suddenly you get a surge and it just pushes the boat. And what we don't want is go sideways into the sharp rocks. There was much carbon in this 5 minutes ago. The drone was in there. Luckily it didn't capsize. Whew.
Okay, hold us up. Great. Yes.
Climbing up the steep slopes to penetrate the interior of the island, it becomes clear why no one has attempted to film here before. Over the next week, the crew will sleep on the only flat ground on the rocky island, in a pod, affectionately named the Teletubby House.
First impression's a little bit surreal. This is camp. I feel like I've landed in some alien place with this pod, which is going to be our bunk beds for the next couple of nights.
With his drone safe and dry, Dan begins to canvass the island's understory.
This particular drone can just float really slowly and just cruise down through the trees, so hopefully we don't collide with anything.
The footage shows just how hard it will be for the petrel chicks to dodge the island's dense palm thickets on their first flight to sea. As night falls, the petrel chicks start to emerge from underground.
Nick has found a small petrel chick that's out of the nest burrow quite some way away, so we're hoping that might be one that's going to fledge tonight.
But filming in the dark makes it tricky to get clean shots.
Keep still, the light. Get it back on quickly, just pan it on.
This has to be one of the most difficult environments to film this kind of behaviour. There's just nowhere to get your footing. Move around, be careful you don't step on the bird. But the weather's not playing ball, it's very still. So I think the conditions need to be better, where you've got nice wind from the right direction, gives them lift. But it seems like a million miles right now from seeing that.
The crew move to a more accessible tree where they've suddenly spotted a bird about to climb. This time, Mark captures remarkable, close-up footage of the heroic journey to the top. It's ready to launch. But instead it plummets to the earth. Nevertheless, both Mark and our petrel have made a good start.
Yeah, it's gone really well tonight. We've had a lot of activity, seem to be in the peak of the fledging. So our wish list for tomorrow night, 2 things I think. I'd really like to see a bird fly in a wider shot, to see it disappearing through the trees into the black. And the second one would be a very clear shot of one approaching a tree with intent to climb it.
After almost a week of filming, with various levels of success, it's come down to the final day. Working against the clock, the team begin the painstaking task of illustrating every part of the petrel's journey in order to construct a coherent story.
Great. This was one of the ones on my wish list yesterday. I've actually managed to get the bird coming out of its burrow and then walking off into the forest. Just by his burrow, pan on to him there as he's coming out.
A picture is beginning to emerge of this hardy seabird's gruelling journey. But the team have yet to capture that hero shot, a petrel chick catapulting itself into the darkness. Will they capture its maiden voyage? Or will Cabbage Tree Island find yet another way to frustrate them?
And he's on my lens. And I think he's come to say goodbye. That's a wrap.
You can find the full Magical Land of Oz series on ABC iView.